Winter pressed down on the forest like a silent weight. Slava, a lone wolf, moved through the frozen landscape with careful steps, conserving every ounce of strength. Survival alone was possible but costly. Every hunt meant risk. Every failure meant hunger. Then he noticed it. High above, perched on a bare branch, a raven watched him. It did not leave. It did not caw in alarm. It simply observed. Ravens see what wolves cannot. From the sky, they scan vast distances, spotting movement beneath snow and brush. Slava understood something instinctively. This bird was not a threat. It was an opportunity. When the raven lifted into the air, it circled once, then glided toward a distant clearing. Slava followed. There, hidden among low shrubs, small prey stirred. Slava charged. Within moments, the hunt was over. He ate first. The raven waited patiently, then claimed its share. 2 species, 2 skill sets, 1 goal. From that day on, the sky became Slava's scout, and the forest became their shared table. From that day forward, the forest felt less empty, with the raven gliding above and Slava moving through the snow below. Their rhythm became almost effortless. The bird would tilt its wings toward the faintest flicker of movement, and Slava would adjust course without hesitation. More than once, they flushed hares from beneath icy brush, the chase exploding across the white silence. Slava's speed ended the pursuit. The raven's patience ensured nothing was wasted. Through the harshest weeks of winter, they survived this way, 2 unlikely allies bound by hunger and instinct. Nights were still bitter, the wind still merciless, but the ache of isolation softened. When Slava howled beneath the frozen moon, the raven remained nearby, a dark silhouette against silver light. Yet something inside him remained unsettled. The hunts were successful. His belly was full. He was no longer alone in the literal sense. But deep within his chest stirred an older longing, the pull of his own kind. He missed the synchronized howls, the shared glances before a coordinated attack, the unspoken language only wolves understand. Survival was enough for now. Belonging was not. That longing eventually became stronger than the cold. When the snow began to soften and the rivers cracked beneath early spring light, Slava made a decision. Survival with the raven had carried him through winter, but instinct now pointed him elsewhere. One dawn, without hesitation, he turned his path west and began moving beyond the territory he had come to know. He left the forests of Serbia behind, crossed into Croatia, and kept going. Mountains rose, valleys opened, human scent lingered on the wind. Still, he pressed forward, kilometer after kilometer, over ridgelines and frozen streams. He traveled more than 1,000 kilometers, driven by something older than fear belonging. There were nights of hunger and narrow escapes. There were territories already claimed. Warnings growled in the dark, but he did not retreat. Then, near a wide river bordered by tall grass, he saw her. A lone she-wolf stepped from the trees, golden eyes steady, posture calm yet alert. She did not bare her teeth. She did not flee. In that quiet exchange, the journey shifted. Slava was no longer searching alone. From that silent meeting by the river, a new chapter began. At first, their movements were cautious, measured. 2 wolves learning each other's pace, testing trust through distance and shared glances. But instinct soon took over. When they hunted, it was no longer random pursuit, it was strategy. She circled wide through tall grass while Slava advanced head-on, driving deer into narrow escape routes. Their timing sharpened with every chase. Then came a greater test. The scent of fresh carrion drifted through the trees claimed by a massive brown bear. Alone, neither wolf would dare challenge it. Together, they tried. Slava moved first, stepping boldly into view, drawing the bear's attention with sharp feints and sudden retreats. His mate harassed from the flank, snapping and retreating before claws could strike. It was risky, calculated, relentless. Minutes stretched. The bear, irritated and unwilling to waste energy, finally abandoned the carcass. They had not overpowered strength, they had outlasted it. In that moment, something shifted inside Slava. He no longer moved like a wanderer. He positioned himself forward, scanning, deciding, leading. Beside him stood a partner. Ahead of him, territory waiting to be claimed. But claiming land was never simple. As Slava and his mate pushed deeper into new valleys, they discovered that not all forests were empty. A resident wolf pack emerged from the shadows, tails stiff, teeth exposed. Territory lines were invisible to the eye, yet brutally clear in intent. A tense standoff followed. Slava stood forward, shielding his mate, but numbers favored the defenders. Forced by growls and coordinated advances, the pair withdrew. This land was already spoken for. Worse, threats soon followed. Gunshots cracked across distant hills. The scent of livestock drifted from open fields, bringing herders and armed patrols. Time and again, they were driven away, chased not by rivals, but by humans guarding boundaries drawn on maps. During one chaotic escape, a young male wolf broke from another disrupted pack and trailed behind them. Thin, desperate, submissive, he lowered his head in surrender. Slava allowed him to join. For a brief time, they hunted as three. Then, cornered near farmland, panic scattered them toward a highway. The young wolf hesitated only a second. Headlights flashed. Silence followed. The silence after the headlights passed was heavier than any winter night. Slava stood frozen at the tree line, the sharp scent of asphalt and smoke burning into his memory. His mate lingered behind him, ears low, eyes searching the darkness where the young wolf had disappeared. No howl came back. No movement stirred beyond the road. In that moment, something became painfully clear. Rival wolves defended territory. Bears defended food. Those conflicts were ancient, predictable part of the wild's balance. But humans were different. Their boundaries stretched endlessly. Their weapons reached farther than teeth or claws. Roads cut through migration paths. Fences split valleys in half. There was no warning growl before danger arrived. If they stayed near settlements, survival would always be borrowed time. So Slava turned away from the lights. Not in panic this time, in understanding. He led his mate higher into the mountains, choosing steeper slopes, denser forests, harsher terrain. Prey might be scarcer, winters might be longer, but distance from humans meant possibility. To live, they would have to disappear into the quiet places where engines could not follow and gunshots could not echo. Choosing distance meant choosing endurance. Slava did not stop after leaving the highway behind. He kept moving across ridgelines, through forgotten valleys, over borders invisible to him but marked on human maps. Season after season, he and his mate pressed westward. By the time their journey slowed, they had crossed more than 3,000 kilometers and passed through 8 European countries, each landscape testing them in different ways. Mountains grew steeper, forests thicker, human scent thinner. At last, in a remote range in northern Spain, they found what they had been seeking: not easy prey, not comfort, but space. No rival howls answered their calls. No engines roared in the distance. Only wind through stone and pine. They marked the boundaries carefully. They hunted patiently. And when spring returned, new voices joined their own. Pups tumbled at the den entrance, clumsy and bright-eyed. Slava would stand on a ridge at dusk, scanning the horizon he had once crossed alone. Now he was no wanderer. He had territory, a mate, offspring. Not borrowed ground, his own pack, built from miles of hardship and an unbroken will to belong.